Welcome back to another episode of The Gold Room. I'm blessed to be sitting down with two beautiful ladies today. Obviously, welcoming back Jazz. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Josh.
Not a problem. And Christy from WA Mobilisations. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Really good, thank you. And you have already met Jazz before, haven't you?
Well, I'm probably a little bit fangirling a little bit. Last time I saw Jazz, she was on stage at the International Women's Day Women in Defence luncheon, and I was quite in awe of her.
Yep. Yeah, I can imagine. Everybody is. That's what we keep hearing all the time.
Mm-hmm. I'm just a nerd that likes nerding out on stage. But thank you.
Well, that's why I liked you, because you were honest.
Well, Christy, I'm really excited to be able to talk to you today because I'm not a part of the mining sector and I get to learn about what Mobilisations is. But before we start, we want to learn about the life and the times of Christy.
Oh, God, are you ready?
Yeah.
So I've had a very long career in mining. I started in mining when I was 18. I'm now in my 40s somewhere. So I started off as a TA. And then I thought, stuff this, it's a hot job. And then I got my rigging ticket, crane ticket. So I ended up driving franners around site. I worked in the Pilbara a lot. I've worked up in the Kimberleys a lot. I've worked offshore as well. So my career has been very broad. So even a couple of years ago, I sailed a big pipe layer down from Singapore to Perth for a project off the East Coast. Not single-handedly, there are other people doing it for me, but I was on the vessel for a while.
Wow.
So, and what else have I been doing?
I think it's you, because I think it's you because no one in here has ever, up until this moment, they a little bit at the start. I've got sweaty hands, and then once we start talking, I think.
Sorry. No, I'm in awe because I love big machines.
Yeah.
And I've never had a chance to work with really big machines like you do in the mining industry. So I'm sitting here going, whoa.
Oh, I've had some cool
The
stuff.
whole for me as well, the whole oil and gas offshore, I've never done it. I think, wow.
It's
what?
amazing.
And so, and iron ore, those big like Ferris wheel, those big buckets, Ferris wheel, have you seen them?
Yeah.
And they're like the big diggers, but they just look like a
amazing.
Ferris wheel. I've never seen one up close, but I think to myself, far out, I'd love to.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's huge machinery. I've only
machines
seen,
are cool.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
This is from the lady working.
I know,
with
but I should
nuclear
have
energy.
Googled you before I came. That's probably where it is. So we'll go back to when I went crane driving for a while.
Yes.
So I was driving franners around, was trying not to get busted for speeding. Then after that, I went into the logistics people side of things. So I was still mining, one of my first swings up at Telfer years ago was 6 and 1. So we had hump week, not hump day.
6 weeks.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So we had to stuff 7 weeks of fun into 7 days.
Yep.
Successfully used to do. And after that, obviously got into the logistics side, people and equipment. Equipment is a lot easier. They don't talk back, and they don't fail drug tests. They don't do anything like that. Then after that, I sort of got into the offshore. I supported offshore from Perth, different projects. There was one in Russia that I did that was quite interesting.
Cool. Go into that. Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah.
Well, the Russian one, it was off the coast of Sakhalin, and the guys had to do a 31-hour flight trip, a 12-hour train trip, and then a 6-hour crew boat ride.
Oh, my goodness.
And
That is some travel.
that is some massive travel, and obviously you can't get, I think it's the krona, you can't get that in Australia. So we were sending these guys off there with no local money to get food or whatever, with little slips of paper, asking how to order food in Russian and the English translation for it, and it was just amazing.
It's a long time. That's before
Wow.
that's before Google Translate.
Yeah, that's before the internet got out there as well. So. But that was very interesting. I only think 2 guys got arrested when they were over there, which was pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah, because booze is allowed offshore over there.
It isn't.
It is.
It is?
Whereas in Australia, we have very strict rules
right.
about any contraband. I mean, you're not allowed vapes. You're not allowed, obviously, not allowed cigarettes in any
Oil
any
and gas.
Yeah.
You can understand
Yeah.
that.
So
Right.
Yeah, safety first.
So that was very interesting. Then after that, I just bounced around, doing different jobs, doing different things.
Recruitment.
No, because people suck.
They're difficult.
They are difficult. I've dabbled in a little bit of recruitment, but it is hard to do because you get let down and you put your heart and soul in it. And when someone lets you down and, your client's not happy, then you go, oh, that was it me? What did I say? Yeah. Because I feel, and I also feel in these, especially in today's age, like people are quite soft and they need to be babied and they want top dollar for the minimum output, which doesn't work.
Yep.
So, and then what did I do after that? And then, COVID hit.
That's a tough time for everyone.
Yeah, and I was actually on Barrow Island when COVID hit, and it was like the world changed overnight. Planes were flying in at midnight to get people home that had travelled in the last fortnight. Anyone that had a stamp in their passport, anyone that lived over east or overseas. Like, we lost a lot of our Kiwi brothers. So there was no scaffolding being built.
Oh, that's bloody good.
And then, we're fighting to keep jobs because the owner of the project up there was just like cutting jobs left, right and centre. I flew back into Perth and it was like a ghost town. I was like, what's happened? Yeah. Masks, things like this. Yep. I mean, my mum picked me up from the airport with an emergency pack of wine.
She's a good lady.
She was. She's a little bit old. She retired from mining a couple of years ago at 71.
Wow.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she's amazing.
That's a good stint.
Yeah, she's an amazing woman. And she picked me up, and because of her age, everyone looked on her kindly and were like, oh, here, you can have my quota. So I was quite happy with that.
Oh, far out. At least it worked in someone's favour, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Christy, WA Mobilisations, right? The company of the future.
Hopefully.
Yep, awesome. So relatively new. Let's go into it.
So we were 4 last month.
Yes.
I started the business off with a laptop in 2021, we're still COVID-y sort of times, and I was working for a company at the time. I was doing 1 hour of work and having to sit there for 9 hours. And I was like, you're wasting my time and your money doing this. How about I just take the laptop home and do work as necessary? We were renovating a house at the time, and I'm apparently a good painter, so I would never claim to be a good painter. So I was painting rooms and working, and then I was like, why don't I just do this anyway? Saving, and working from home then was quite the in thing, like COVID made it happen. So then broached from there. I didn't have to advertise. I didn't even do anything. I just registered my ABN and people in the industry, because I've been around for so long, came to me. I was like, oh, this business stuff's easy. Like, hey, why does everyone whinge about, it's hard work? Then I got bigger and bigger.
I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of the story, because that's not the case.
No. I got my ass handed to me. I got my ass handed to me.
Awesome.
And then it grew a bit, and then I was working unbelievable hours. So I employed my first girl, and it took me ages to do that, to get the confidence to give up my baby, to someone else and give the confidence in it. Found this amazing girl. She was awesome. And then we grew from there, and I got another couple of girls. I'm like, oh, wow, this is so easy. Third year is your shit year. Yep. Third year is the year where you go, wow. And that's when I had to start working for the business. I had to start working on it and bringing people in, trying to get clients instead of them just falling in my lap like they were. So last year I did a lot of networking, and then that's what I found out, all these like WA Mining Club, the Women in Defence, the all these different sort of things you can go into. And I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. Yep. And everyone wants to drink.
Yeah.
But then also another perspective I came through is when I was employing women was that a lot of women get left behind. As soon as they have a baby, you're discounted. Mm-hmm. And the setup that I had, and then during this time as well, I met my now husband and obviously 3 stepkids, and I was like, why haven't women put their bloody hand up and said, enough? Like, we do everything. Sorry, guys. We do everything.
Oh, look, I totally get it.
Yeah, we have to look amazing. We have to cook. We have to clean. We have to shop. We have to do the kids, and the kids have to be happy, and sports, and do all this sort of thing, all in the thing, and all in our, 12-hour day that we try and,
while
20-hour
also
day.
looking after yourself and running your own life, right?
Yeah, and doing all of that sort of stuff. And that's what I thought, if this working from home gig's got it made, like we can do a little bit of work, drop the kids off from school, go to school assembly, go for an hour in the gym, work. Because when you think about it, mothers get shit done. Yeah. And that's what I love. And all my team are mums, and they just rock it.
Work it.
And I give them flexibility. They give me flexibility and loyalty back. They're allowed to drop their kids to school, like school assemblies, all that sort of thing, where if you're in a 9 to 5 job, you've got to get after school care, before school care. You've got to do all that sort of stuff. And you're like, oh, my kid's sick. I'm letting the team down again. We don't have any of that.
Yeah.
You are a boss after my own heart. I love that. And so you've established this company that has a lot of really flexible and amazing arrangements, but you've briefly told us about your career before Mobilisations WA. What were some of the challenges that career posed to you?
Oh, being a woman in a man's world.
Yeah.
That's what jazz is
Yeah,
to have
yeah,
as well.
yeah, totally that as well. I mean, I remember, like, especially when I'd be employed as the fronter driver, and everyone's like, bloody women, you know, what do you think they're doing? And I'd be walking across the precinct, I think, this is my fly up, have I got a booger? You know, all those sort of stressful things.
What do I look like?
Yeah, are they going to love me, hate me, or whatever? And I always found the middle generation were a bit bloody, you know, what do you think? Get back in the kitchen, love. But the older guys, come here, love. I'll teach you.
Take you under my wing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
loved them. And
Yeah,
then
cool.
the younger guys were a bit more. Oh yeah, they don't see you as a man, female. They just see you as another worker.
Yeah. End up calling you mum or sister
So,
or auntie.
yeah, that's
Auntie
it.
Christy.
Yeah, sure, bro. So that was probably one of the biggest challenges. And because we're not physically being able to match, but we're smarter, like.
I'm in the wrong room here, right? I might just
You're
leave
all right,
you guys
Josh.
to it.
It's like, you know, well, you use your brain. Like, oh, that's heavy. I'll just lift it with the crane or the forklift or, you know, the mechanical means. Like, you know, work smarter, not harder.
I actually know that women operators in the mines are highly sought after because less damage on the gear. They're not accelerated down to the ground, chopping through things.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I was told for years.
Oh,
4
I
years.
believe you. I saw a guy on the weekend at the supermarket smashing his big trolley into the little trolleys, and I was like, mate, that'll never work. Like, the big one doesn't fit into the little one. Swap it around.
Yeah, he might be an operator on a mine site. But, I mean, I don't know.
Possibly.
I'm not judgy.
Yeah. No, but that's one thing I found being in and then I got into a leading hand role, and I literally got the barrel of the IQ level of the team. Like, it was hard. Like, come on, guys, put your hard hat on. Put it on the right way.
Oh,
like,
wow.
yeah, like, remember... Like,
These guys are highly paid in the industry,
100%.
right?
It was just ridiculous how much hand feeding I had to do, and because I was having to prove myself time and time and time again, you just did it. You just got along with it. If you got time to learn, you got time to clean.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Chrissy, why is mobilisation so important in the industry?
It is the be-all and end-all of a project. When you think about it, you will not have a successful project unless you have your mobilisation in control. That's proven time and time again that if you think about it too late, you're not going to get your guys to site. You're not going to get your team to site. They're not going to have the right qualifications. Anyone, like if you work for a certain 3-letter miner, it's 42 inductions that you have to do.
How long does that take?
That's
a
about
person?
3 days of, and like you're talking these guys that are blue collar workers. They're not used to computer work, and you know the animation might not work, and you can't do it on your iPad. You have to do it on a laptop or a desktop, and all these different things that you've got to try and manage. And they think it's easy. Oh, here, just press the button and play. No, you've got to get the guys to sit down. And imagine a 60-year-old carpenter trying to navigate inductions and trying to get the answers, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
The inductions, I mean, I haven't done one that's taken 3 days, but some of them can be quite cumbersome.
Yes.
You know, anything that more than 12 questions in a segment, and I start to bloody wane off. You know, I can't really be bothered with it. That's me, and I'm keen to get it done. You know, so.
So what's the biggest mistake companies make when it comes to mobilisation?
Not paying attention to it.
Yeah, right.
And over-inducting people. Like, to be honest, the induction process is probably be the one thing that I would love to change, because it's too cumbersome. Like, people aren't paying attention anymore. The whole safety thing is, and I'm probably going to get shot here, but when you're at the coalface of having to deal with trying to get people through these inductions, it's losing its point. They're not paying attention to it anymore. They're just like, just give me the answers so I can get through and get
So
site
it's
access.
box ticking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. I find with myself, I mean, I can run an induction because I generally do the inductions so I can tell the guys how to troubleshoot for them. I don't give them the answers, but I troubleshoot for them.
Yep.
I'm like, watch back and, at 1:15, pay attention type thing.
Yep.
And I can literally sit there and I don't even have to watch it to get the answers right now.
Yeah.
But that's what people are doing. So I'm not even watching.
Wow.
Are they getting those candidates getting paid for those 3 days that they're doing those inductions?
Well, this is some are, some don't. That's another grouch within the industry as well. Is that inductions are starting to get paid, but not everyone and not every company pays for them.
Wow. What's the number one priority when working with your clients?
Client satisfaction.
Okay.
We're very flexible. Like, we will do whatever they want us to do, within reason. Like, we're not. The girls don't get flogged or anything like that. But yeah, client satisfaction, because we know we've been around forever. All the girls are really experienced in what they do. So we can come in and working with a really good client where they're happy, you do it. And we're like, yes, thank you.
Awesome.
With a client that's a bit more sort of cumbersome, that want to be done their way, we do their way.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then it does sometimes take a bit longer.
And so what are the industries and companies that you support?
Oh, everyone. Well, at the moment, we have got technical services, we have a automation company, we have a scaffolding and rope access company, we have a, I don't even know what you could call that company. They do it all different mining services. I did one I'm very proud of. We supported Fortescue with the Green Pioneer project when
awesome.
they changed they did for hydrogen power.
Yeah.
So we supported them with that mobilisation when they were doing the build in Singapore. So that was pretty cool.
Far out. What do you think of hydrogen? Green hydrogen.
It's very energy intensive. So, and in the early 1900s, it was explored by chemists, and it's pretty explosive. It's a very flammable element. So I see high risk there. High risk, high energy demand. I think it's very hard for us to commercialise hydrogen in a meaningful way.
Yeah. We won't talk about Twiggy Forrest and his big grand plans for that, will we? Or will we?
You could use a nuclear plant to power up a hydrogen project if that's what hydrogen is needed, but it's very hard to do it from other energy sources because it's a demanding chemical reaction.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we digress, don't we? Chrissy, how have you seen the industry change over the years?
Oh, the rooms have got a lot better.
They have, haven't they?
The food's got a lot better.
Some places.
Yeah. I've definitely got some stories. Obviously, MRL are
leading the charge. Holy heck.
I mean, I just wish I was. They were doing it back when I first started instead of having the shitty dongers with the old box air cons that all night long. That's probably one of the biggest change, and obviously females coming into the industry as well. Which I have probably a bit of a different opinion about that. I still reckon right person, right job.
For sure. Definitely. It's good to hear you say that.
So, yeah, because I think it got flooded, but the the industry wasn't ready. So I was on a site and I was in a store as I was doing making all the hydraulic hoses and stuff, and I was a supporter for all the girls coming through. So they wanted 50-50 by 2020. Not realistic, but they didn't do any training with the guys on site to say, how do you treat this girl coming in? Do you open the door for her? Because all our, especially older generation, you open the door, you pull out the chair, you take the bins out, that's how we treat women with respect. So you've got these girls coming into a workshop environment and they're not getting, no, do I help her? Do I want to help her? Am I what do I do? And they've all sort of gone, stuff it, I don't know whether to help her or not. Yeah. But then, there was one girl that I had there and I accidentally gave the name of Pockets and she did say, why do the guys call me Pockets? And I'm like, because your hands are always in them.
I knew
get amongst
it. Supervisor.
Yeah.
Pockets.
Get amongst it. There was another girl there, she was 4 foot nothing, fabbed up her own little stool and would wrestle the guys out of the way. No, I can reach it, I can get in there. And there's under these big machines crawling into spaces. She was amazing.
Good on her.
Yeah, so those girls, I'm like, bring them on.
Yeah.
Pockets.
Yeah, look,
go on a dress.
There's guys that are doing the same thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So,
but as a girl and as and that's particularly at that time when girls were getting jobs over very qualified men, or that, you need to be in your game. You need to be front of your game.
Yeah, definitely. It's actually really refreshing to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, especially working in a high-risk environment, it needs to be the right person with the right character and attitude.
Yeah.
And it's how do you prepare these young girls to want to have a career in that? Because not everyone's suited to a career in mining.
Absolutely not.
We just need to...
Yeah, I think everyone should give it a crack.
I'd love to give it a crack.
Yeah. You'd be good. You'd be good. For sure.
It'd be amazing.
I know, because I love routine, and it's so routine. I didn't have to worry about making food or,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah. I know. Exactly. That's why it's a rude shock coming back to
To life.
To life and now mum life. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. Why don't you feed yourselves?
Where's the Bain Marie for the kids?
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the one thing you would change about the mobilisation process?
Go back again, inductions. Just probably the inductions and the length of time some companies take to get someone on. So if you get a job, it could be 6 weeks before you actually start that job.
Yeah, right.
So onboarding and
It's always been like that. For as long as I can remember.
Yeah.
It's always been like that.
In some parts of the industry, it's not like that at all. It's, you start the next day, or you can start in 3 days' time. But a lot of the bigger miners, it's a minimum of 14 business days to get someone on site, and that's just as that's when they've done their pre-employment medical, that they've been, gone through all the interview process. I mean, some of the interview processes are quite lengthy, even for the blue collar roles.
Yeah, wow. And so people are having to prop themselves up for all this time till they start the job.
Yeah, because you don't want to resign from your current position until you know your start date.
Yeah, exactly.
Christy, what type of people do you want working with you, and why?
Well, I've got them.
Yep.
My girls are they're again, like I said, they're all mums. They're all quick thinkers. They're all very flexible. They're all very kind and caring. We have a very kind and caring team.
Awesome.
That's one of the main drivers, is just like we all look after each other. Women need to look after women because it's a vicious world out there. And if one's sick, someone else will step in. If your kids are sick, someone else steps in, because we all understand life and what goes on with it. And it's amazing how many women are like that out there.
Yeah.
And I just want them to keep coming.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Powerful.
So I guess adding on to that, what are the traits that make someone exceptional at mobilisation?
ADHD.
Yeah, great. I love that. Neurodivergence. It's amazing.
It's a superpower for some people. I read an article where someone said it was the next superpower. It's the next movement in evolution.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought, that's my eldest son's got ADD, and I actually stuffed up, and I beat myself up about it for so long, because the teachers at school were for years saying he's got ADD, he can't concentrate, and as a 10-year-old child, I had the same thing. The teachers said the same thing to my parents. He's got ADD, but they took me to a child psychologist, and no ADD. Even when I was older, I was like 13 or 14, same thing. There's something wrong with him. ADD. Wasn't. I don't have it. So, but I thought the same thing with him, and I was just anti. Every time I heard it, I said, he doesn't have it. He's just a young, excited boy. He's just a young kid trying to learn his way in life.
Yeah.
So we end up a few behavioural issues. We take him to a child psychologist. The child psychologist said he might have mild ADD. And so I said, well, we'll give him some pills then. All right. So I threw my hands up, said, we'll get it done. So I had him working for me in a weekend doing an electrical job, and I take him out and give him one of these pills, and on the way back in I said, mate, how'd that pill, on the way back driving back into town, I said, how'd that pill go for you, mate? And he said, Dad, I finally understand what you mean when you say 1.5 and 2.5 cable, because, and he's like 12 by this point, right? And I said, what do you mean? He said, I can read it on the cable drum without my brain thinking about something else. And I was just, so I went home. So I was just like, toughed it out, drove home. And that night after I put them to bed, I burst into tears. I cried cried, because I thought, even now I feel a little bit weird about it, because I just feel like I held him back for so long.
Yeah.
And his behaviour now, like now that he's on these pills and he's concentrating, as I told you before, Jazz, never been prouder. He speaks and reads and writes in Mandarin. And
amazing.
I had to
Wow.
take him out of school. I took him out of school to discipline him, but also to give him, so he does online learning, and he is exceptional. He's going to be an exceptional human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
awesome.
bloody proud. So ADD,
Yeah.
there's a little story behind it for everyone.
Yeah, even though I don't employ men, I might give him a go.
No, I've taken him. He's mine.
No, but definitely for this role, you do need to be able to multitask, and obviously mums can do that quite well. Multitasking, thinking about probably 50 million things at once. Like more often than not, we're in a Teams meeting and we're doing something else, because it's all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, wicked. Where do you see WA Mobilisations in the next 5 years?
Well, hopefully I've got departments and I've got coordinators. I really would love to grow the business and make this the norm instead of the exception, and getting trust into the concept that it is, which is I'm slowly gathering this, and how you can have people working from home and they will work.
Okay.
I'd love to have a team of 30, 40 women working for me, and working for all the big miners, and then I'll be sipping cocktails in the Bahamas.
Oh,
That sounds amazing.
that's a dream come true.
Yeah, that's it. Our Christmas parties are going to be awesome.
Awesome.
So, if you could introduce one innovation or system to improve mobilisation, what would that be?
It would be making inductions yes, no, yes, no, yes, no.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
and
stimulation.
actually a tick and flick on an iPad. Like they need to use the technology that we have. Everyone's got a smartphone. Put everything into an app, and it would make life so much easier.
Mobilisations app.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
not a
Any
bloody-
developers out there?
Actually, yeah, in the next room over there. And an awesome team of developers, yeah. You should speak to them. Christy, thank you very much for coming in and spending the time with Jazz and I. Jazz, thank you very much.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Josh. Thanks, Christy.
Fangirling.
Yeah. I'll get your autograph later.
Yeah.
I'll get
Mine-
yours. You've worked around big trucks and cranes. And whoa, blows my mind.
Yeah, it's awesome. Advice to women in the industry or coming into the industry, what would it be?
Don't give up. Don't give up. Be strong. You've got this, and you'll always find someone on. You'll find your friend on site that'll just be powerful. Like we could talk all day about the amount of women that I've got in contact with, and supported, and they've got through, and they remember me from 20 years ago, going, "Oh, I remember you grabbed me and you told me, all this X, Y, Z, and you got me through." And I went to a girl's wedding 14 years ago because of that. She stayed in
friendship
the
that you
industry.
built.
Yeah, and she met her now husband on site, and
Cool.
3 kids later.
Wow,
Yeah,
awesome.
so-
That's a busy
Love
mum.
it.
It's a busy
Yeah.
mum.
Yeah, yep.
Awesome. Well, once again, thank you very much, Christy, for coming in.
No, thanks for having me.
Thanks very much for tuning into another episode of The Gold Room. Drop some comments down below. Also, if you need assistance with mobilising your staff to site, don't forget, call WA Mobilisations, check out their website, and the awesome office manager, we can't forget, I don't know where he's moved to, but
He's
Cooper.
having a nap.
Awesome. Thank you.